Good afternoon, folks. It's a little drizzly today, but the mood is great because for people living in the south of China, it's a breath of fresh air. Today, we have a big sedan on review. And yes, Voyah company has finally rolled out its super sedan Chasing Light. In the history of the automobile industry, no one has ever given such technology and such sporty performance in one car for such a price. Today, you're going to see it. Let's go. A total of 30 sensors, LiDARs, cameras. There's autopilot, there's auto parking, there's a built-in DVR. 510 horses four-wheel drive, 2 electric motors. Multi-lever front, multi-lever rear, air suspension, and height-adjustable ground clearance. With a small battery of 86 kilowatt-hours, the car accelerates in 3 and 8 seconds to 100. With a large 108 kilowatt-hour battery, acceleration is 4.2. They also have a hybrid version, which I will try to review soon. And it's the one we all love so much. Parallel hybrid, pure electric acceleration, generator somewhere in there, barely making any noise, charging the battery on the go. The battery is 43 kilowatt-hours with the ability to drive a 260 kilometers by CLTC cycle, and consumption of 6 liters with some kind of tank there for 50 liters. The hybrid's price is much less $38,000 for the top-of-the-line configuration. 390 horsepower with acceleration of 5.9 to 100. And that's probably, I think, more interesting for most people so far. Why they rolled out pure electric first is still unclear, but that's the company's move. Price. The best part. They didn't go into the segment to BYD Han and Xpeng P7. First of all, this car is bigger, and they wanted a niche so they wouldn't get in the way of the mastodons. They will not beat Han in price in any way, because there for $40,000 they give something that no one has ever given for $40,000. But they also want a surprise, and they did not go into Neo ET7. They're asking $60,000, 420,000 yuan for the maximum electric version. And it's interesting, and I think it's prettier than the Neo ET7. I haven't ridden it yet. It's in sequence. If it drives like the Neo, with that face, I think a lot more people will buy it. What's next is interesting. This is a sedan with height-adjustable ground clearance. It can be raised to a maximum of 16 centimeters. It is enough to not get stuck in snow on all-wheel drive. There is a spoiler. It opens on a tablet. They say the spoiler is professionally tuned, and it has its own software. You can set the tablet to set the speed at which you want it to open automatically. All right, well, traditionally a very heavy door, 2,200 kilograms of curb weight. By the way, the window controls are sensory, but there are dimples, so you can't miss. Artificial, synthetic, fake leather. A little bit there is a piece of Alcantara, 14 Dynaudio speakers. This whole part is also covered with artificial leather. Only the inside is plastic. All the seats are Alcantara. In the front, massage, ventilation, heating. In the back, massage, ventilation, and heating. Steering wheel leather Napa. Dashboard top is soft. All this part is made entirely of soft plastic. The fake leather here is the same material as the gilevich.eng L9 dashboard and door cards. It's a high-quality artificial leather made with Napa technology. The button in the shape of a crystal. It's so tight. It's hard to tell, but it's so good, so high quality. I see this place is well put together. It's cloth covered inside, it's pretty deep. There's a 2 cup holders. Very nicely put together. A place for wireless phone charging. This is also Alcantara. By the way, the key looks like this. There's a little niche for a wallet, probably a man's wallet, a big one, and 2 charging ports. This is the kind of sedan you can make a fighter cockpit in. I've got the seat down to the bottom, 187 centimeters tall. There's still this much room in front of my knee. I can reach the steering wheel. I'm semi-recumbent. If you sit up straight, it's perfect. Not only that, but you can move closer. Now I'm bumping my knee. I mean, it's big. It's spacious. It's big enough for anyone of any height. And I like the way they've allocated the budget. The Neo ET7 is more expensive. There, the seats is covered in Napa. The cards are also Napa and natural wood. They've done it cheaper here, but it's very high quality. Look how cleverly they've done it. They realize that Alcantara is cheaper than Napa, but it is also very status. So they've done all the seats in Alcantara. They even added a little bit to the cards. The ceiling and pillars are also Alcantara. Yeah, that's it. With a shade. Listen, it's interesting. Small mirror, and here it's just clear plastic, but with shade. Interesting. Let's take it right off. They gave us this car to tear apart. Let's do it right away. Same thing. Interesting. It's a big glove box covered in fabric. Main screen is 12 inches. The resolution is 2K. The chip is an 8155 Snapdragon. There's 5G internet. There's Wi-Fi. A third-party app, unfortunately, you can't install yet. I found it to be a very fast screen. There's an internal camera. There's a second row camera. There is an external camera. You can take pictures, take videos. You can also add effects for the girls. Here's a smiley face. For example, a story like this, or a helmet. You get it, right? Don't forget the helmet, guys. It's a rough time. You gotta have your helmet on at all times. All right, 360. This is what it looks like. 2D cameras, nice cameras, not bad. Clear enough. Of course, the desktop can be changed. Well, nice screen. It's faster. It's faster than the Voyah Free. It's faster than the Dreamer. Well, work done. A swipe down from the top brings up a menu of hot buttons. Volume. Brightness, account, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, that sort of thing. Just below it is a smaller screen for climate control and seat controls. Let's start with the climate. Everything works very quickly. Doesn't slow down at all, not even a little bit. How do you drag and drop in here? Yeah, like this. I see. All right, back seats. That's for the second row. Air ionization, seat controls. Driver's seat, passenger seat, you can move it back. There's touch-sensitive hot buttons, like the emergency light. The passenger screen is 9 inches. This is where you know everything. Music, movies. Karaoke. And you can even play a console. Yeah, plug and play a console. Okay, that was karaoke. We don't want karaoke, we need a movie. You can flip it over here with 3 fingers like this. And back. You can also go into some settings here. Yeah, for example. And switch screens. There's the head-up display. 187 centimeters tall. Sat behind myself. Look at that. 2 fists in front of my knee. one fist above my head. And I can also lower the backrest. That's the way I'd go. Far away. Not only is there's also a seat extension. I'll jump over here. I'm gonna lower my back as far down as possible. Just what you need. We have a screen in the armrest. You can control the seats. You can operate the climate. And you can control the sunshade. The armrest itself is big, soft. It's got a niche, it's covered in fabric, and there are 2 charging ports. Unfortunately, there is no button to open the trunk. It's just not here, either by foot or with a key fob. 410 liters, and that's with a 108 kilowatt-hour battery. But there's no niche. The hatch only opens from the inside on a tablet. 108 kilowatt-hour battery, 30 minutes on a fast charge, and 7 hours on slow. Closing with this button. 245 by 45 R20, disc brakes, ventilated all round. Let's take a look under the hood. There's a soundproofing, and there's a niche. Let's start with this. The Jidzi L7 is on sale for that money. It's more sporty, it's lower, it's got less room. It doesn't have air suspension, it doesn't have height-adjustable ground clearance, but it's a sporty sport, and it's got plenty of comfort in principle. But I feel softer here. I consider the Jidzi L7. I'm in the process of choosing a sedan for myself. I want to buy something interesting for fun. And so far, before I started testing this car today, I thought the Jidzi L7 was probably perfect. I'm looking for a car up to $100,000. In principle, I am considering foreign brands too. Mercedes EQS, for example. I like it inside, not so much on the outside. I'm not interested in status at all. I have a Rolex in my nightstand. I wear an Apple Watch, just because that's where I put my SIM card. And sometimes I don't take my phone at all when I go out for sports or a walk. And I'm always in touch with my family, with my friends. I don't care about status at all. I'm all about technology. I'm all for having fun. Probably not the Mercedes. It's so creaky too. I don't know. But the L7. Jidzi L7. It's just fantastic to drive. It's a slightly different car. Same money, but it's a slightly different car. It's a car that's more comfortable, and it's more usable for a family. There's more room in the back. It can be raised higher. It's got air. It's softer. In terms of comfort, let's get right to it. It's like an S-Class. I mean, it's really soft. It's even softer than the Neo ET7. In terms of handling, the Neo ET7 is probably a bit sharper, and the Jidzi L7 is a little bit sharper. That said, the handling here is certainly better than the S-Class production Germans. Of course it's better. And anyway, people ask me why you don't do many reviews of gasoline cars. I'll explain. What gasoline can there be? What gasoline if an electric car with a heavy battery allows you to give more comfort in suspension and yet with better handling at the expense of center of gravity? How can that be traded in for the growl of the motor? And the engine growl itself is relative too. I used to get high on the V8, V12 special sound. I'm so uninterested now that when I sit down, I recently drove to the X5. Well, it sounds like a disgusting fart. Pardon the expression. I'm starting to get annoyed with the growling. I can't hear what's pedigree, what's not pedigree. It's all annoying. I need silence now. Now you get a thrill out of the silence and the fact that you can press a button and fly away. That's what an electric car gives you. Yes, you have to charge it. But, for those of us who have a place to charge, it's not a problem right away. There are generators, and it gives the same electric boost without delay. It's just like on a tablet, on a home tablet. No vibrations, no nothing. But somewhere in there, there's an alternator running quietly, and it gives you the ability to drive on gasoline. That's why, by the way, everyone loves this sequential hybrid right now. And this car, I remind you, is already out there. I'll do a review soon. Let's move on. The handling is clear. It handles very well, better than the S-Class. It's the same in comfort. But these models, the Neo ET7, the Jidzi L7, they'll be a bit sharper. If you compare it to the Tesla S, there is more comfort. There is simply 5 times more noise insulation. There is more equipment, of course, too. But the Tesla S also steers sharper. It's similar to the Neo ET7 and the Jidzi L7. The wheelbase is 3 meters. The video operator confirms that it is very comfortable in the back, both quiet and soft. The aerodynamic drag coefficient is 0.22. And it accelerates in 4.2 seconds to 100. For its size, I think that's more than enough. By the way, it is wider than the German S-Class. Noise insulation, I repeat once again, you can probably hear it yourself. It's just cosmos. It's like an S-Class. And finally, the Chinese has no noise in the wheel arches. Brake, 33 meters. That's a top result. No questions about it at all. And let's have one last thing, the battery. 108 kilowatt hours is the maximum battery. And as they say, it's unrealistic to drive 700 kilometers. That's about 500, 550, 600 in the summer in the city. And on the highway and in winter, less, and less. If you have seen the video to the end, you know what to do. Be healthy, do sports. Eat healthy food, drink meltwater. See you again.